What's up, guys? This is Tyler, House of Cards TCG, and today there is some breaking news in the TCG market, which is just insane to me that I had to come on here and I had to talk. But first, make sure to like and subscribe. You can see we've already got some videos set up, some duels and some Yu-Gi-Ohs. We got Dino Deck profile I got to knock out the thumbnail for. So make sure to subscribe, take a look at our videos and what we have offering. But let's just talk about it. Are you ready? PSA customer update, April 2021. Since the last update, the momentum behind the hobby has only accelerated. In fact, our Collectors Universe president and CEO, Joe Orlando, recently shared the reality of the surge of submissions to PSA. Try to further illustrate what has happened. The sheer volume of orders that PSA received in early March has fundamentally changed our ability to service the hobby. Because if you guys don't remember, back in early March, PSA doubled their prices in hopes to slow down the submissions so that they could process their back orders. Keep in mind, right now, we have over 800 cards at PSA, and we first submitted our bulk order of about 200 cards back in, I want to say, early November, and we still have not received them. So, we're going to scroll down to here. Given our growing backlog, it would be disingenuous for us to continue to accept submissions for cards that will be enabled to process in the foreseeable future. So there's no deadline to as long as PSA is not going to accept submissions. It says to the foreseeable future. It is an unpleasant conclusion, especially after March 1st price increase, but is necessary to properly serve the customers who have already submitted to PSA. Thank you, PSA. We appreciate that because I want my 800 cards back, you know? Effective immediately, PSA is temporarily suspending our value, regular, and express service levels. So if you want to pay $200, $300, $400, $500 for a card to get graded, one card, you can still do that. This will allow us to fully unbox and receive the recent surge of orders and focus on our most impacted service lines. So it's exciting for me and also a dull moment for me because I'm excited because maybe I'm actually not going to have to wait until a year from November, which would be this November, to get my cards back. But also, what is this going to do to the value of PSA cards? You're going to see this lapse, which who knows how long this is going to last. It's going to be a lapse where you're not going to be able to receive or submit PSA cards. Now, you do have other services like Beckett and CGC to send cards to, but in general, a Beckett 10 is hard to get. PSA 10 is really nice to see. And then CGC has been very stingy with their 10s, and you see a lot of 9.5s out in the market. So it's going to be interesting how this is going to correlate with the other grading companies. You can see here PSA's growth planning and capacity expansion remains in full effect. We recently added an additional 58,000 square feet to our California operation on top of the 62.5 square feet we added a few months ago. So they are expanding. They are doing their services. It sucks that they have to stop getting new submissions in while they're expanding. I know as a business that can be very impactful. But really think about this. What is this going to do to Beckett and to CGC? Their biggest competitor is now temporarily out of the market. That means that Beckett and CGC, mark my words, will definitely double their price. You're going to see those prices go through the roof, and that is my opinion of what's going to happen because their biggest competitor just left the market. Now, when you think about business and how it works, right? When one of your competitors is gone, that means that the demand for your service is going to increase, which then means that the supply is going to increase, which means that you can now charge more. I don't want to see it happen. It's actually very unfortunate for our hobby and for what we do, but you're going to see Beckett and CGC prices actually really increase, and it's unfortunate because PSA is temporarily suspending service. I never thought I'd see it, to be honest with you. You know, I thought that we had gotten ahead of the curve when we had submitted our orders, but to see this, it's really insane. And I feel for the people at PSA. You know, those employees, they have to be working day in and day out grading these cards. And so there it is. They are going to temporarily suspend business. And CGC, Beckett, the only two out there really that you can send cards to. They're going to increase their price, and we don't know when PSA is going to allow for new submissions again. And then what happens is when Beckett is going to get flooded, CGC is going to get flooded, how long until they have to do the same thing? It might get to a point where we literally can't submit cards to be graded because they're back. You're going to be paying $250 for one card to get graded, and it's going to be a 6-month turnaround. It's going to be insane. This really hurts the hobby as far as getting graded and getting those cards done and everything else. So I'm sad to see it. I'm really sad to see what's going to happen with the other two companies and what we can expect from them. So I did pull up this, which is current CGC, because I wanted to backtrack on it maybe after this news. Right now, CGC for bulk, which there's 50 card minimum, they're charging $9 a card, which PSA prior, it was similar prior to the March increase. Economy, you can see the turnaround time. These are working days, keep in mind. So when they say 111 days, we're not talking about 111 days. We're talking about 111 business day turnaround. So insane. I mean, the Express right here for $40 a card is not bad, but there is a max to that limit, and that's in 22 business days. So you're still waiting over a month to receive a card that you would send into CGC, and it's just insane. So when we look back at this video with this announcement of PSA, I don't think it's going to happen right away. But as these companies get flooded with submissions, because no longer people are going to be sending to PSA, you can't. You're going to see this increase that's going to happen on the CGC and Beckett side. So a couple other things that I pulled up because I just wanted to take a look at some different things. You know, I always go look at the Charizard from Shining Fates, and I pulled up the PSA. It's insane to really think about the most recent price being $851. So it has dipped down just a little bit. But then I go over here to this SMR price, and I'm like, what is that? So this is what is available. And now we have a Shiny VMAX Charizard from Shining Fates PSA 10 at $1,500. Does that mean that PSA cards, PSA 10 cards, are going to be more valuable now since you can't submit to PSA? So this is the correlation I look at when I'm looking at this hobby and these cards. So our PSA card is going to be worth more money because there's going to be a limited supply of them, as well as that going to increase the price of CGC and Beckett grading service, which would then create a higher price for those cards as well. So just some different things that I'm always taking a look at. And then I pulled up just Charizard Shining Fates on eBay, CGC 10 to look. There's no pop report that I can check. So these are sold items. And then scrolling down on the CGC, you can see here, I do not see a single CGC 10. That's a Hidden Fates Charizard. So Shining Fates, CGC, I am not seeing anywhere where there is you can see March 29th, 2 days ago, this sold for $1,000 on auction, PSA 10. But I'm not seeing a CGC 10 Charizard Shining Fates. And that's going to be where you're going to have to submit your cards to now. So are they more difficult to get a 10 than PSA was? Because there's a lot of PSA 10 Charizards. The pop report is 438 total grades. Scroll down here to Charizard VMAX Full Art. There's 438 10s. So 438 10s. And then we go over to eBay and there's no CGC 10 sold. So it's definitely a shakeup in the market. I was looking at some other things. I was messing around with Beckett, and you could see the total number of cards currently in their database is 43,866 Pokemon cards. Total value about 263,000. Yu-Gi-Oh! They have 66,000, about 185,000. So there's a lot of cards at Beckett currently, and with Beckett out of the with PSA out of the mix, it's just going to get worse for them. So that is the big news from today. PSA customer update. I just wanted to come to you guys. I'm currently moving, so my office is a wreck, but I had to bring this out to you because this is huge news that you can no longer submit to PSA. So I hope this was informational for you, and I hope that I brought it to you on the breaking news. So if you guys get a chance, make sure to like and subscribe. This has been Tyler, House of Cards TCG, signing out.